Welcome to another episode of Comedy Wham Presents. With me, your host, Valerie, and sometime kitty co-hosts, Miss Purrington and Mookie, are back at home. We're recording from Fallout Theater Podcast Studio. Thank you, Fallout. ComedyWham.com is your place to go for features about all Austin comedy. In addition to podcasts, Comedy Wham brings you articles, album reviews, show reviews, our advice column, our listing of festivals from across the country and the world, our FPIA contest page, and my articles for Austin Chronicle and thebarbedwire.com about the Austin and Texas comedy scene. And coming soon, some articles with the San Antonio Current. Our most popular feature is our events page for live comedy shows in Austin, Houston, and DFW, where 100% of the entries you see come from comics and producers. Click the Submit a Show button from the top of the homepage or events page to fill out the survey to get your show listed. It's free and easy. Tag us on your Instagram stories and we'll share your show promo to our followers. We also offer paid promo pushes on Instagram. Speaking of events, come check out my new passion project show, Improv Vintage, where we do improv based on your vintage items. It's so much fun. Follow us on at Improv Vintage for all the updated show news. Want to support these resources that we provide? You can donate to Comedy Wham on PayPal, Venmo, or even Patreon. Click the Support CW icon on our homepage to see the ways that you can help us. Our podcast was launched in 2016. Guys, we're almost at 10 years. That's bonkers. Launched in 2016 to bring you funny people and their stories. As a fan, I like to delve into a comic's background and motivations and will usually take a detour along the way. Consider the interview a way for you to get to know the folks that make the Austin comedy scene one of the best in the country. If you like this podcast, please rate and review us. Today, we are talking to somebody who is a regular at Cold Town Theater, where you can see him either teach, perform, tech, maybe all in one night. He's part of the Nasty Jasmine troupe. He was in season 1 of The Rose and perhaps season 2. I know that news recently came out. And he is a Cold Tony Award-winning performer, tech, support guy, everything. I don't remember the specific. You're going to correct me. And he's even performed in the Cap City Comedy Club Funniest Person in Austin contest. And he is one of the thousands, millions of people that actually listen to this podcast. And now Comedy Wham presents our guest, Louis Birdsong.
Nice. Thank you, Valerie.
And you have one of the best Instagram handles.
Oh, thank you, Kendrick Lamar.
Yes, I love that.
Nice little shameless plug intro. Yeah, big Kendrick fan, always have been. And yeah, I think apparently some people are frustrated with it because they think it's Kendrick Lamar following them or commenting on stuff. And then
that's hilarious. They can't figure out from like the profile in the grid that is obviously not
Kendrick Lamar. yeah. No, I guess not. But yeah, apparently it's pretty underwhelming, which we'll see. Yeah. I'll have to try to reach Kendrick's clout soon.
Oh, yeah.
No, there's no way.
Okay. You never know. Okay, well, so you've apparently done your homework. So you know my first opening icebreaker question.
Uh-huh.
All right.
One word to describe. I'm sorry. No, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
No. I feel weird about that.
I feel weird about like somebody who actually like knows the podcast and like, you know, has listened to as many as you have. It's kind of crazy to.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm a stan, a big fan of the podcast. So yeah, this is like a dream come true.
Oh my god. All right, I will bestow upon you so you can experience what it's like for real.
Yes.
Tell us one word to describe your past.
Cool. One word. Wow. Didn't expect this one. I'll say lessons is what I was thinking. Yeah, I just turned 30 like about a month ago.
Aww.
So
congratulations.
Thanks, made it.
Birthday. Yeah, you made it.
Yeah. Actually, a month ago today.
Wow.
And yeah, I feel like just like a lot of people from what I've heard, like 20s can definitely be described as stuff that was a big learning period. Mm-hmm. And yeah, definitely happy to be in my 30s now and kind of turning the page away from, I think more of like a party era, as much as I hate to say it. Completely realized now that alcohol is not like a good thing, as much as a little spice on the night, not something you should like base the whole.
Right.
I don't know if I should open up the podcast with my alcohol struggles. In the past.
It's fine. It's fine.
And then trying to just be more present, I think. I'm a person who definitely struggles with anxiety. And so one thing that's been cool and late in my 20s was starting to realize, and definitely now, an intention of mine is being focused on like what's real, what's in front of me, and like what's in the present moment. When I think there's a lot of speculation and narrative in my 20s and in my 29th year. So yeah, I'm excited for what's to come, and I think just learned a lot, and I'm sure I'm going to continue learning, kind of like how life is apparently. So
yeah, based on my stealth research, like improv, at least graduating through the Cold Town program, is a relatively recent thing for you. I think you graduated maybe in 23.
Mm-hmm.
So had you been a performer before then?
Yes. Well, kind of. It's weird. So I got introduced to improv in high school.
Okay.
I did crew for my high school theater program.
Okay.
And
where did you grow up?
In Houston.
Okay.
So grew up in Houston, went to Stratford High School. For all the fans out there. Yeah, the theater program there was great. CC Prudhomme was our theater director, and they won a ton of awards. I was never really... So my family's big, like football and kind of the typical Southern family. Sure. So there weren't... like, my mom was a huge fan of like Sound of Music, like a huge fan of the Sound of Music.
Wow.
And Grease and stuff, but that's pretty much where it stopped. It was big time like wanting me to play football and kind of check all those boxes. But got into theater and like as an extracurricular in high school, and then we did a lot of improv short form games in high school, and I loved those because I had a lot of really good friends in theater. Grew up watching Whose Line Is It Anyways, and so was familiar with improv and was really just brought into it as kind of a game. Like it was just fun for us.
Yeah.
And then got back into improv my last year at Texas A&M. Okay. Which I just never saw that there was an improv club there.
Yeah, I mean, College Station, I visited.
Not
doesn't give off a big improv vibe.
Yeah, not a huge
Might
art
be that
scene.
Big thing in the middle of campus. You know?
Yeah, the giant football field thing. I keep talking to people about it. It's incredible. I think the population of College Station is like 20,000 or something, and you can fit 105,000 people in that football.
Just insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. I will say the downtown Bryan is a really hidden gem, I would say. Okay. And like an art scene, it's a nice place to walk around. I think someone called it the Emerald City of like Central Texas. Don't quote me on that. I swear I read that online somewhere. And you gotta believe everything.
Somebody's gonna fact check.
Yeah, yeah. But it was cool. I did some open mics actually in Bryan, but there was more like slam poetry open mics. So I really had my sights set on being a stand-up comedian throughout college.
How did that start?
So I think I just not to toot my own horn, but I've always well, thank you. I'm glad I have a platform. Yeah, I mean I feel like I've always kind of been a funny person. That's one thing that's always been kind of a solid for me, or something I can like lean on. And so I always wanted to do comedy one way or another, whether that's like making people laugh in a classroom or, in a room, like an actual venue. Yeah. So in high school, I always kind of wanted to do stand-up. Did one open mic at the Improv in Houston that started it off like as a senior in high school. Yeah, and
Did your parents have to bring you because you're underage?
No. So I went. I was able to drive myself because I think I was 18 at the time. Okay. But I had two friends come, did it in the Improv lobby. Like there's like one big room and then the side room that just had like a speaker and a mic. And I did okay. I think more or less a bomb. But it was fun. Everyone, the first time I told them, it was my first time and everything. So then went to school for landscape architecture. And I've always loved being outdoors, and it was a good creative outlet. But I always thought I was going to go in and do stand-up. My whole plan was to move back to Houston, live with my parents, save up some money, and then just pursue stand-up comedy.
Wow.
But then I got a job offer in Austin with the landscaping job my last year at A&M. and came here for an internship. Never mind, it was my 4th year. 5th year, I'm getting all jumbled. And sorry, this isn't a good concise. 4th year came and did an internship here in Austin. Went back to A&M for my 5th year, because it's a 5-year program with landscaping. Okay. And then my 2nd semester of my 5th year, if you're following along chronologically, I auditioned for Freudian Slip, which is the improv club at A&M. And I never knew that club existed. I saw a flyer for it, and I remembered like short form improv from high school. Wow, I'm answering the question finally. Where I was in West Side Story. Oh man, I drank a lot of coffee before. My first time formally performing was in West Side Story, my senior year of high school. Okay. I was Toro, who is a member of the Sharks. And my only line was "Chino, Policia," and it got. Of
course, the white guy.
Yeah, yeah, in Spanish. Yeah, my only line was Spanish, Policia, and it was funny because I yelled it right before intermission. Whenever the stuff in West Side Story goes down, I don't want to spoil anything. But I yell it, and then as soon as we get back, that was like the first note I got when we got. They're like, "Hey, we're gonna cut your lines." I know. You're not going to do that anymore. And I was like, understood. I wasn't. But yeah, so I was in West Side Story, and that was really my only performing experience before then. Did that open mic and like a couple of open mics, but you know, it's an open mic. And then joined the improv group at A&M.
So you got in. You auditioned and you got in.
Mm-hmm, auditioned and got in. And it's so interesting. I loved that group. We practiced like 6 hours a week, and it was really cutthroat, surprisingly. Like, no one really thinks about that with the A&M improv group. It's a great scene. Jisoo, who's a Yaoi Asian, is also alum from... And there's a couple of people, I think, sprinkled throughout the scene from Freudian Slip. But it was so cutthroat. And, like, the opposite of kind of what you see in the scene here. So I was a probationary member, which means, you know, like, we just hadn't got added on yet. And it was me and like 10 other members that were probationary members that were like freshmen and sophomore, like younger students. And it was protocol, like it was standard for them that every month we had a show. You know, we have the 6-hour rehearsals, but every month we had one show. And every show, no matter how well we did, one member got cut. One probationary member got cut.
Wow.
And so, but they told me, because they were like, and it was, you know, bittersweet. They're like, hey, you're a 5th year. You can't even be on next year. So we're not going to cut you, just so you know. And so they're like, you're safe. But it was such a bummer because I was making all these friends and the probationary members and like within the troupe. But every time, like, you would go to the because after every monthly show, they would have a party. And everyone would just kind of speculate on who was going to get cut that week.
Wow, that is cutthroat.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and really not ideal for...
Yeah, it seems like it would create some bitterness.
It was very bad, and there was like, it was kind of weird, like within the group, there was like beef between members. Some people would edit themselves out of scenes if people joined, or like walked into a scene. It was very, very much like that, yeah.
That seems like prime fodder for like some kind of documentary about, you know, the dark side of improv.
Yeah, especially in those environments. But the thing is, I loved it, and like we were doing...
That was safe.
Yeah, they did. As unfortunate as it was, I was like, man, this must be really tough for y'all. Like, I'm just having fun here. And like, and you know, it's also like just an intense practicing. So I was getting all these reps in with everyone, and it was a talented group, and it was a really, really fun environment for me because I couldn't get cut, but brutal for a lot of other members in there, and a lot of the drama that was going on. I was just kind of sitting there like with popcorn.
I know you're gonna play along with this, but this is where I say, tongue in cheek, this is exactly the problem with society. You've got the white cis man who just rides on the coattails while everybody else is on the chopping block.
Yeah, well, unfortunately in this situation, that was, I would like to think it was all on my year stuff. I hope that they weren't just like, oh yeah, perfect. No.
Yeah. Man, I hope they changed that model. Do you know? Do you keep in touch with like...
No.
Yeah.
But apparently, from what I understand, that was like the history of the club.
So that's just the thing.
Yeah, it's how they've been forever. And I'm optimistic it's not still like that. You know, like different faces hopefully get in there and change the scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not involved with the college
Okay.
folk anymore.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, so you came to Austin then. You got your full-time job after the internship?
So I got offered the job, came to Austin, and then immediately started working front of house at Fallout as an intern.
Okay.
Because I just knew I wanted to keep doing improv. It really did feel, and again, I think it was the scene like of not being threatened in it, but a really iron sharpens iron kind of atmosphere there.
When was this?
This is like 2018.
Okay.
2018 going into 2019.
Oh man, those were the dream days of, all the theaters just being packed out all the time.
Yeah. And it was cool because so I worked front of house here. Usually it was me and one other intern and then a house manager. And I was doing it just so I wouldn't have to pay for classes. Improv at that, like I was still had sights set on stand up, but improv just was this really fun thing that was almost therapeutic for me. And it was really cool. And the main reason I did it was front of house, I could go and watch all the shows. So Sure Thing was every Friday night. I'm trying to think of the other improv shows. But Sure Thing was always set, and I got to set up with Brendan and Duncan every night.
That's awesome.
It was so cool and so healthy too as aspiring stand-up comedian, because I would be able to talk to them about the open mics that I bombed that week. And they would talk to me
They're
like,
such good guys.
they're incredible.
Such good guys.
Yeah, and it was cool because it started out like I was starstruck because I saw them do their Sure Thing, and they were so good, especially like prime time Sure Thing nights. Because it was sold out every time, and it was just kind of like the Ticking Around Time. It was BYOB too, and so like it was kind of a scene. It was always like a night. And so it was really cool talking to them, and they were kind of mentors through the whole thing where I would talk to them about my experiences of bombing, and then they'd be like, well, don't worry about it. You have like a year and a half of bombing ahead of you until you're really going to get any idea of who you are as a comedian.
Right.
And so I started out working front of house here, did 2 levels of improv, but the old Cold Town location was actually closer to my apartment. It was across 35 from me, so I could literally walk across the street. And I'd heard good things about Cold Town, so I actually started instead working front of house over there after about 6 months of working here. So it's mid 2019 that I start working at Cold Town, and that was when Echo Lake and Loverboy was like Yaoi Asian, like just incredible improv troops every night, and going and being able to watch, and then COVID hit. After I was in like level 2 of improv over at Cold Town.
So you're about even with your curriculum between Fallout and Cold Town. And had so you were still doing the open mic scene, but also doing the improv. Had you figured out that you liked one more than the other, or was this for you, you were just all in on both of them? You really liked both of them for their own thing?
I think that's a good way to say it. I like both of them for their own thing. I liked sort of the thrill of stand-up, of going up and not knowing if I was going to bomb or like a 1 in 50 chance of me having an okay set. But improv was always there as, like I mentioned, almost therapeutic for me, of going in and being able to get rid of all the like life stressors. You're just going into class, and it was a classroom full of people that are paying to be there, and everyone's just there to have fun pretty much and make up characters and just be present with everyone. So I started noticing how much I just enjoyed improv naturally, whereas stand-up, I don't even know if I was really enjoying it as much as I was getting sort of a high from it. And so I started realizing I had more of a love for improv rather than what I felt like I really wanted from stand-up.
We just dropped Ariel's episode today, and one of the things she talked about is she loves improv, she loves sketch, she tolerates stand-up because for her, she's mission focused on getting a writing. She wants to be a comedy writer. So for her, the stand-up is kind of just the thing that she knows will take her on this path.
Mm-hmm.
But she really loves improv and sketch.
Yeah, she's so talented in everything
In
too.
everything,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I see that too as like almost a means to an end with stand up.
Yeah.
It's such a I'm struggling from the word not a something I was trying to think something with passion. Dang it, I'm completely at a loss for word. Totally a passion. I think that is safe to say.
Yeah.
Something of love.
Yeah.
I'm blanking, Valerie.
Well, I want to go back and on something that you said because it kind of connected some interesting pieces together.
Mm-hmm.
You said something to the effect of with stand up, you go in not knowing if the audience is going to respond to anything that you have to say. And in my mind, I'm thinking, and the contrast is with improv, you have no idea what you are going to say.
Uh-huh.
And it's kind of an interesting, thing. And obviously, you don't know if the audience is going to respond to that either.
Mm-hmm.
But you're adding this additional layer of not knowing to the performance. And I don't know, which is harder. The fact that you've spent all the time writing the stuff, but you don't know how the audience is going to respond, or add an extra layer of you don't know what you're going to say, you don't know if the audience is going to respond,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah.
So I think my favorite thing is the fact of the team sport side of improv and the trust that I know is like the brand of Cold Town, but also the trust that you have to have of getting people's backs, and going on stage and hoping that your teammates have your back as well.
Yeah.
One thing that is a newer thing. So I was cast as one of the new members on Fuck This Week.
Congratulations!
Yeah, thank you.
Wow, that's huge.
So that's been just a dream come true as well. Because I was working front of house here, 7 years ago, and they were always the group in the show that I would tell people to go see. Is like Fuck This Week if you want to see some really good improv. Mm-hmm. And so that's been just a complete dream come true of getting casted on there.
Yeah. Wow.
And that has been a perfect example of improv being just such a gift of I know going on an improv a stage with that group that no matter what, I mean, I could sit back and not do anything really. I mean, this past show I had like all these ideas, but then people would just hop up and they would come up with just gold themselves. And I love that side of it, of the collaborative. It's not these ideas like, and again, sorry, I ramble.
That's what this
The point of this,
is.
cool, perfect, at home. But in stand-up, I think what really gets to me is when I spend like 8 hours or like all day or more than 8 hours, like I'm spending weeks trying to perfect this joke.
Yeah.
And being precious about it with getting up on stage, and I'm like, I can kind of tell if a crowd isn't, because I try to intro with a certain set of jokes or with a point that I'm trying to make to set up these other jokes that I've written. And it almost, I think, gets to me more knowing that, everything I have isn't going to land with this audience because I'm getting this vibe from them that they're already not bought in. Whereas for some reason in improv, I feel like it's a lot more collaborative with the audience. Like they're almost on a member of the group at that point, whatever audience members are there that night.
Yeah.
And having that idea or that collaboration that you're going in, and it's like, they seem to laugh at this part of our opening, so I know that they're cool at this, and we're gonna generate these ideas. Long-winded. I really love the discovery side of improv rather than stuff that I've invented and hoping it's gonna land.
Yeah. Well, as you know, I have recently, joined the improv cult.
Yeah, nice. Yes, it's totally a cult.
Which is like the best cult, I think. Ever. Like I started classes at Cold Town last year, and I came up with this concept idea for the show.
Yeah, I love that show.
Yeah, it's and I feel like we've been playing together. We've had new people come on. We've been playing, I guess, 5 months now, and it's really cool to feel. Now I could feel that of, I know that my fellow players have my back and I can trust them. And it's, oh man, talk about a high of knowing that like there's this group mind and we know that we bring like unique things to the show.
And literally, I'll bring unique
And
things
yeah,
to
we
the
bring
show. Yeah. I think especially like as that builds, and that's one thing that I am fascinated with improv, and is like the big question mark. It's kind of the woo-woo side of it. Of the more that you play with a group, the more that you get to know your group, even if it's just like after practice hanging out, or instead of a rehearsal, you go and just like sit outside somewhere, to where you can slowly start to almost read each other's minds or know like, like for example with Fuck This Week, like, oh, if like this is someone's story is about like a school, or like kids are involved, like a story about something that went wrong with their kids. Just knowing that I can bring on like Maria and Alex to come in and just do their kid voices. I know that they're like itching to do that, those characters. And I love that side of it with the trust and being able to know that you know them like through and through, and you can almost read their minds, which I feel like we're all working on. But that's so cool. I love the Improv Vintage. Your cast is stacked, and
I mean, we have like cold Tony Award winning players. It's kind of wild, and a lot of people like. So obviously, Joy is like the superstar, which is crazy that she signed on to this troupe. It's like, girl, you could be doing so many other things but she's like invaluable, and she's been like a mentor to me. So this is going to be the Joy appreciation moment.
I also stand Joy.
Because I don't know anything. I'm so new at this. I'm a good producer. I know that about myself. So it was easy for me to, okay, I've got this idea. Let's make it happen. And she signed on, and she's been so invaluable. I've learned so many things about just like the improv world realities that are, beyond the skill set of somebody who's so new.
That's so funny though, because also like I'm so subscribed to like just the amount of time that you've spent with comedians, sitting across from comedians. That I feel like you're like kind of like a ringleader, like puppet master.
They would probably describe me as that. I mean, if you saw the Google Doc that I maintain to keep this engine running.
For Improv Vintage?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
It's
like
wild.
for availability and like just...
I'll list off the tabs.
We have
a highlight calendar. We have confirmed shows. We have tentative shows. We have a social media page. We have coaching and rehearsals page. We have a flyers page. I know I'm missing. Oh, we have a dues page. Producing and organizing, that's my jam.
Nice. I can see that. You read that. But that is invaluable. I feel like that's also the crux of an improv group that you need, or else it's going to fall apart no matter what. And great casting too on that show. Big fan of Doy's. I'm on the Rose with Doy and have been on the Rose with Doy.
Nice. So you are confirmed for season 2. Nice.
I can't wait. We have a rehearsal later today, or the first practice with the new cast.
I did audition for that just because Doy, as my mentor, she said, just go and audition. Just that way you'll when you're finally ready for the thing that you really want, you'll have the experience. And I did do an audition for something else, and I was terrible. I was so in my head. And then I did audition for the Rose, and I felt like, okay, well, I've got this. But also, it's Amy. Amy makes everything feel like, comfortable. She's just so great.
She's such a calming presence.
So I was able to have fun with it. And so I wasn't disappointed. I was like, okay, great. I've got another one under my belt, and, I'm still in level 6, so I've got time. And plus, I've got this, as my boyfriend says, you do too much. You need to calm down.
I feel like that's a story of every comedian, though, is like all of a sudden you realize you're like, oh, I'm in like a spiral of busyness right now. And then slowly peeling back the layers. It's like also peeling back like friends and obligations that you've made. So it's so tough once you realize you're like in too deep. Which, I don't know, I'm also a fan of like just letting chaos reign.
Why not? Okay, so you have your first rehearsal this afternoon for the Rose 2, which starts in January, right?
Yeah.
And what was your role in season 1?
So season 1, that was the first show I was ever casted on, was The Rose. I think that was 3 years ago. It might have been like 2022.
Okay.
So I was very excited, fresh off of COVID and like not knowing comedy was going to come back. And which knew comedy was going to come back, but just no one knew it was going to go on with like the Twilight Zone kind of feel that we were all in.
Yeah.
So I got brought on as a featured member, so I was on like occasional shows. I had one show that I thought stood out to me as a really great one where Kyle Irion was the Bachelor and was just so fun to play with.
Oh my gosh. Another incredible player.
Yeah. Shout out Kyle.
Shout out, yeah.
And so I got brought on with that, and then this past season I had the opportunity to host. Amy and Tiana asked if I was willing to host, and I was so excited. I was like, this is going to be great. And it was such a learning experience and like another lesson of like seeing the pressure of being a host and being like, oh, I can nail this. I'm going to kill. And Amy told me before my first show, she's like, hey, I think she could kind of tell. She's like, just heads up, this like isn't about you, you know? She's like, you're kind of the grounded, like kind of here with the audience. And honestly, I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And like, meanwhile, I have all these monologues and stuff that I'm like, oh, these are gonna kill, and it completely bombs. Like, just unraveled my first one. Just like everything I had planned, just completely. I'm like sweating. It wasn't funny. Like my intro that I came out to wasn't funny at all. And fortunately, it was just like we talked about. The cast came in and saved everything. Yeah. Doy, Jamie, like the whole crew came in, and like they're like. It's fun because then they start laughing with you, where it feels like the audience is like suffering at you. Like the cast members come in and they're like, "Hey, it's okay. Like it's all gonna be fine." It ended up being a good show. And then after that, I learned a lot of lessons of like, okay, I'm just gonna be like the grounded person that's like helping the audience be like, "Hey, this is all weird. Like just so you know, I'm here with you." And so that was last season, and then they didn't offer me host again this time around, which I'm so happy with. I'm just going to be a cast member, and I'm so excited to play with the rest of the cast. I saw like it's also a stacked show, and really excited going into the season. But yeah, it went from featured, cast, and then host. Host was not my jam. I don't know if it's ever my jam, so I'm excited to kind of just be able to do characters and improv. Yeah.
So it sounds like I got this wrong. This is the 3rd season of The Rose.
I think so. Definitely at least 3rd coming up. And like the new run. And that would make sense because I think it started 2022. Yeah. And then, last season was the host fiasco on my end. Thankfully, Amy and Tiana picked up all the slack. They're like, do you want to host? I was like, nope, I got to kind of go on a journey. And then they brought me back in like 4 episodes later. Yeah. But yeah, I love that show. It's so fun.
Yeah. So that was your first thing that you got cast in, and then you've also done this Nasty Jasmine. Is that still running? Is that group still running?
They are. They just recasted. I am taking a step away in this new round, just because the house team, like I've been on a handful of house teams now in a row. Love a lot of these cast members that I've been casted with and consistently doing improv with. But I'm really trying to focus. I don't know if this is the best for the comedy podcast, but I'm really trying to focus on my career-wise. So I do tree work, and I've always wanted to be an arborist since having a landscaping background. But I'm really wanting to focus on studying for my arborist certification. So very close to that, but I need like a couple of months of really dialing in. Yeah. So scaling back, especially with Fuck This Week.
That's true.
Really love Fuck This Week.
Commitment. Rose is intense but seasonal, so yeah.
And it's Saturday night, so to be honest, it's not like I'm trying to like really hit the books on a Saturday night. Yeah. And with the house team and what was kind of the intention initially of Nasty Jasmine is really like putting in work and really trying to get that group mind and the fluidity of running a Herald. Because it's just so blocky, so easy to get in your head, trying to do the premise-based. And so the amount of time that I was really wanting to commit to that group, I didn't think I could bring. But yeah, they have a dynamite new group of members, and I'm excited to see what they do. But yeah, I'm at least for now. I'm hoping in maybe 6 months they'll still be running, and then hopefully they'll let me jump back on. But yeah, very fresh as of last week was our last show with them. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So sorry, I didn't mean that.
Why are you apologizing?
I don't know. I feel like I should have given you information.
I could only research so much, and on top of that, you're an instructor. Or you have.
So I think you're thinking I was in a jam. I did a jam one time, and I think you were
so I'm like just calling you a teacher now.
When you said that, I was like, I don't think I've taught.
Okay.
I've only done the jam. No, so I've only done jam. Very much just a student of improv and comedy right now. But I did do that jam, and you were at that jam. And actually, that's another instance where just I think kind of fell apart. I had multiple people after the jam talk to me about like, hey, so I did one of those warm-ups you ran with us in the jam with Tiana, and I think you did it wrong. And there was like several games that I ran. I was like, these are my go-to improv warm-ups and games. And they were wrong. And I remember being there like hosting the jam, and I was like, something's up. I was like, this isn't working, and it's not them. But unfortunately, everyone that was there was like, yeah, this doesn't feel right. And then I was trying to diagnose, but yeah, not a teacher. And so I didn't have the experience to also be like, no, this is what's going on. I was like, this is what I'm thinking, and just projecting all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no teaching as of right now.
Okay. All right. Well, I lean into doing things wrong because I will easily, especially there's so many games. Warm-ups that are out there, and it seems like every time I go to a new jam or even within our group when we do rehearsals, somebody will bring up a new warm-up, and I'm like, okay, haven't heard of this one. And then I try to like bring it to some other scenario, and I butcher it, and I'm like, I don't care. Let's just have fun.
Yeah, and that should be the motto of improv is like, don't care, have fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've recently been kind of obsessed with character gauntlets and some other improv warm-ups where it's pretty much just like chaotic character runs.
I love chaos.
Me too.
Yeah.
Very much a student of chaos.
Yeah, chaos is great. Okay, so let's talk about wait, I forgot. I have my little intermission. Okay, yeah, we're going to do our intermission here. All right, so I've got
the cards, yeah. Game, oh, that's so exciting. Nice.
All right, so I have 2 cards here from Where Should We Begin, and based on my conversation with Ariel, she said, because I say that I'm always confused about whether Esther Perel is a psychologist or psychiatrist, she suggested I just call her a psycho. So she is this world-famous psycho, and these are prompts. And you're going to point to one of these cards. Go ahead and point to one of these cards.
I'm going to laugh.
Okay, I'm going to read this one to you after you read that one to me.
Okay, cool. All right, Valerie. If I wasn't working as a blank, I would be a ...
Okay. I think if I wasn't working as an actuary, I would be working probably on an amplified version of this.
Yeah, I feel like you're living the dream right now.
Yeah, I would be hustling to write more things for more publications. I would become like this production company of multiple shows. I would podcast more and more people. Yeah, I think that's what I would do.
So yeah, you're like, and from what I'm hearing, kind of living the dream right now because you're producing multiple shows, you're podcasting. So way to go, way to live the dream.
Yeah, well, again, I do too much. Okay, all right, Louis, yours. The thing that makes me hard to live with. Sorry, that one's not as fun.
Oh God, I live alone, so this is topical. The thing that makes me hard to live with. I cannot focus, and I'm working on it, and it's such a practice. I think I really just gotta hunker down and, finish one task before starting another task, before noticing another task needs to get done. I think it was funny. Abby Lincoln at Cold Town, ran into her. This is probably like 6 months ago, and I was going for to tech a show, and there was some corporate event going on, and it hadn't been communicated. So they were like, "Hey, it turns out the show might be canceled. I hope that's cool." And it was one of those days where I like to think of it as like a productive ghost talking through me, where it was like all of a sudden I had all this clutter around my living room. And like earlier that day, I'd finally started doing some of the stuff that I really needed to get done. And so I said to the people at Cold Town, and Abby was sitting in the room, I was like, oh, well, this would be a heaven sent, because if I don't go home and finish my cleaning up my living room, I'm not going to do that for another 6 months. And then Abby's like, oh, so you have ADHD. And had never been brought up to me before. Not trying to go into family stuff. Family's very much like, we're not one of those families. And so that being said to me, I was like, oh, whoa, that's interesting. And I went home and just did a bunch of Googling. And now I've really been trying to focus on just focusing on things in front of me. And it's really done a number where I'm like, no, what's the thing that I was going to do? Oh, well, I was doing laundry. Okay, I need to go and like actually grab my laundry hamper, because on the way to do my laundry, I noticed I need to sweep the floor.
This is my life. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I feel like it's a thing a lot of improv and probably stand-ups, comedians in general, have in common.
Yeah, we're always like, everything is a spark of an idea. So everything you look around is a potential task that needs to get done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that reminds you of a different task that you also need to get done.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think my scatterbrain makes me hard to live with as I live with myself. So yeah.
If I had to guess the answer, I would say kind of in that, I don't know if it's exactly spot on, but are you familiar with the movie When Harry Met Sally?
I'm familiar with it. I've never seen it.
Okay, so there's this kind of like, these are two like not really polar opposites people that kind of dance around each other for most of the movie until they finally realize that they're like, in love with each other. And the thing I was gonna say is because you were so relentlessly optimistic.
Thank you. Yeah. Well,
because every interaction I ever have with you, you're just like so positive and so optimistic. And I'm like, somebody that lives with you probably is like, I just want to be miserable.
Well,
I just be miserable for a moment, and you would not allow that, I would think.
That's a good point. I recently had a friend say pretty sternly to me that they think toxic positivity is a bad thing. And I was like, I'm going to process this one. That is something I'm definitely trying to work on.
I mean, in a world where there's so much to be down about, I would say keep doing that, because we need that in this world.
Well, thank you. But yeah, I do think that probably when someone is dealing with something, if you're trying to find the silver lining every time, I think that's not necessarily the healthiest. But yeah, no, that's pretty dead on. You're reading me like a book.
Okay, well, in this second part of the episode, we've covered so much ground. Let's you started stand-up before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Are you, that FPIA you did was in 23.
Mm-hmm.
And are you still like regularly doing stand-up, or do you find the scene interesting?
I do find the scene interesting, to say the least. I'm not regularly doing stand-up. Last summer was when I quit my job. It just wasn't the perfect job that I was at with the landscape architecture. I was doing residential landscaping. And I announced my jump into full-time comedy, where and it's so embarrassing to look back on. We all kind of make mistakes. Not mistakes, but we all maybe have our eyes are bigger than our abilities. Yeah. And last year, so I quit my job. I'd already had a trip to Chicago planned, go to Chicago, and I posted a story of myself when I was like, here's my new account. I'm going all in on comedy. So follow this and like buckle in and all that. And I last summer went for probably 2 or 3 months. I was hitting like at least 5 open mics a week. Trying to go and like do the grind finally that I'd always wanted to do. And I was doing that as well as combining with character work. So I already had like a Danny Zuko character, which is kind of clown character, and I love that character a lot, as well as like an Action Bronson. And then at the same time was working on a Donald Trump character because was really trying to like beat him, like point out some stuff, to say the least. And that character work combined with stand-up and the fact that I was hoping to rely on all of this for an income was really stressing me out, which I think is something a lot of people experience. And I really stopped kind of finding the fun in comedy. And so through hours of me like trying to write, like I was trying to write a joke every day, go try that out, as well as like with the Type 5 at open mics, while trying to pursue character stuff, I really burnt out like incredibly fast. But it was cool because I'd always wanted to be an arborist, like for the past 5 years. And so to take breaks from this comedy spiral I was putting myself in, I would go on walks around my neighborhood, and I kept noticing myself looking at trees and being like, like I really wish I could knock on that person's door, hand them a card, and be like, hey, I can help out with this tree that's either touching a roof or has this portion dying off, or I see you have a problem here, maybe you're overwatering. And I really kind of took that as a sign of like, okay, maybe I can go and lean back on a career of something that I'm passionate about and love doing, like landscaping and tree work, to take a little pressure off of comedy and see where that leads me. So again, long-winded answer. I am hoping this is a perfect area for this, but I've been working as a tree climber for a year and been in improv, and I've never felt healthier than where I'm at right now with my comedy. And I have been writing jokes for stand-up that I'm confident will work. You never really know until you go in and try them out. But I'm thinking in the new year, once I get more confident with my arborist certification, get a test scheduled, and hopefully get that going, that I'll get back into stand-up. But I'm really, and full circle, wanting to focus on the product of what I'm putting out with stand-up. And I kind of get in my head with that, like really in my head with the difference that I see in my natural conversations with people when I'm not on a stage, and how I feel a lot funnier. I feel like just effortlessly I can tell stories and like have fun and make a room laugh off of being myself, rather than going up on a mic and I'm shaking and sweating, which is the process that everyone talks about and the process that I used to kind of fall in love with. But I noticed that when I was putting that pressure on myself last summer, I really lost it. And while I felt like I was getting laughs, I felt like it was more of a room laughing at me and stuff that I wasn't comfortable with and wasn't really a sustainable comedy. So I'm really excited for the future, and I feel really good with where I'm at right now, but definitely leaning heavy on improv, loving the fun that I'm seeing with Fuck This Week, the Rose coming up. And then Lucid, with Sid Goen, is a duo that we've kind of taken a break on, and are hopefully getting back in. We've been talking about doing more practices.
Oh my God, what a dream team. You and Sid, are you serious?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I love Sid and all the absurd, crazy stuff she does.
Yeah, she's so fun to play with. Yeah. For someone who can bring out so many absurd, different characters, she is the perfect counterbalance, because a lot of the times I'll go off the rails and we'll talk about it at like after a show, and she's like so my rock during sets, and like she can be like, okay, you're throwing a lot at me, and she's really good at communicating that and reining me in, not in a bad way at all, but like, hey, we got to stick to one idea. So yeah, she's a blessing. So lucky that she was on the first group. That was a group that we joined together, Play Party, in like 2022, and it was some of us who were in a level 3 together, and I just noticed how like driven she was and how committed she was, and she was always at everything from open mics to Garrett Buss's Explorophoria, is where I saw a lot of her stuff, and I was like, we gotta collab. So yeah, that's been great. Cool. And yeah, we should be rehearsing soon, and I think on some duo show construction at Cold Town, hopefully coming up. We submitted, so. Yeah, so again,
look for Lucid.
Oh yeah, hopefully. We started like a social media thing maybe 2 years ago, and I think both of us have just not really wanted like.
Oh my God, social media is such a grind.
Yeah, and it's such a grind on its own, and so frustrating right now because it's like if you're not doing social media, it's
You get lost.
yeah, and it's like people think you're not taking things seriously, and they're like, well, you got to do TikTok, or you got to do Kill Tony, or you got to do all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't have to do anything.
That's right. You don't. You really don't.
But yeah, again, super long-winded, but the stand-up is something that I can't wait to jump back into, and I think is in my future. Hopefully, if the audiences allow it. But yeah, it's something that I am really wanting to kind of let myself marinate a little more until I get back on a stage.
Yeah. The thing that I have observed from improvisers that do stand-up, and the thing that I have felt, because I was producing a stand-up show when I started my improv classes, and the thing that I learned was I don't have to have, fully fleshed out concepts. I could just kind of riff a little bit on stage. I wasn't doing a lot of time. I was the host, so I'd kind of warm up the crowd before introducing real comics. And the thing that I learned from improv, and what I think I've observed from improvisers who are also stand-ups, is they just kind of trust themselves to be funny on stage because they know they're funny when they're improvising. But yeah, it is tough when you're trying to write out the words, place things just so that they are funny for an audience. Yeah, it's easy to get in your head about that.
Yeah.
Versus, I've got a concept here. I can be funny with this.
And I think that's one thing that you mentioned with the scene that I've been burned on before is trying that stuff out. And I do feel like Austin right now, and keep bringing it up, but the Kill Tony kind of mindset that is around the scene. And I think this is every scene where people will get roasted, but I've tried that before where I go up and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to tell a story and kind of try to see where the laughs are at.
Yeah.
And I do think coming at it from not a confident viewpoint doesn't help me out. But I'll be going in, and I used to have a story about like a lease that I had, and I would get laughs here and there. But I would consistently get roasted on it being storytelling rather than it being jokes. Like the comic would come up after me, and it's so tough as an open micer to go up and you're trying out, you're vulnerable, and I would tell this story, and then I would sit down. And I remember one person I'm not going to bring up in particular, because I'm not going to bring them up specifically because they're still in the scene, but they came up and they're like, hey, so did you guys come here for storytelling or jokes? And just started, yeah, I know, yeah.
Sorry.
And I was sitting in the front, and because you stick around for the comedians after you, and I got grilled, and that was just something that I think you can't take that too personally, but just naturally you're gonna get hit with that, and it almost attacks you for your style or things that you're trying out.
Right, because there are very well-known storytelling comics. So, fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And if your go-to is to punch down a person because, I don't know, I turn it on this person. It's like maybe they didn't have material.
Yeah.
So they decided, I'm just going to insult the person before me.
Yeah. I mean, and especially at an open mic, because you could go to town on a half. Like 90% of the people who go up could probably be made fun of.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, that was pretty brutal, but I do think that's a good idea with storytelling, and I think that's something that I've wanted to explore more. But I'm also fascinated with like John Mendoza, funniest person in Austin. I'm not sure which year, but
if I go to my website, I could tell you.
Yeah, but he's so like tactical with his word economy.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Duncan brought him in. I took Duncan's stand-up course and really enjoyed that. And that really got me fascinated with, word economy and the structure of jokes. And I think that's where I was just doing too much last summer of trying to figure out word economy while trying to figure out characters, while trying to figure out storytelling and riffing with the crowd and trying to do improv.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's
so
a lot.
Full circle also, but the thing that makes me, I think, hard to live with is the same exact thing that I'm struggling with comedy, with trying to just focus. And I don't think I'm going to see growth until I really start focusing on what I'm doing right in different spaces.
I gotta say, it's not just figuring out what you're doing right. I think it's doing what makes you laugh.
Yeah, having fun with it.
Having fun with it. Because the moment you're having fun with it and not just freaking out about the right words or the audience doesn't like me or whatever it is, the moment you're just like, I'm gonna make sure I'm having fun, that's when the audience is gonna be like, oh, his stuff may be a little weird, little, just to continue on the track of the storytelling, it's more of a story than I was thinking, but man, is he committed and he's having a good time up there.
Definitely.
Okay, I'm going to have fun with this.
Yeah.
So I think that really is more important than what you're doing right or wrong and what you're doing to make sure you're having fun.
Yeah. I think you said it. Totally. And that's what I love about improv so much. And I think that is also what I think makes improv hit so hard in certain scenarios is getting to see that weird little freak that is inside every one of us. It's like, oh wow, this guy is a really weird, skewed version of Danny Zuko from Grease. Like, what? That's a weird pull that he got from that movie. Or I think what you find joy in and what you're noticing the audience finds joy in is the key to everything. Right. So I appreciate that. And I'm so excited for getting back into it. And I do feel like I'm finding that more now, especially.
And I know there are open mics where that kind of, being a jerk is not necessarily
the norm. Yeah.
So it's also a matter of, go find the open mics where you can feel comfortable doing the things that make you have fun. Yeah. And then you don't have to be with you can't escape them, but you can at least try to go to the spaces that are a little more welcoming.
Yeah, definitely. And I will say...
will actually say, don't be an asshole.
Yeah, and that's like Angelina Martin at Cackle Shack. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I do love about this scene is you can throw a rock and find like an open mic or a stand-up venue.
Open mics here and at Cold Town.
Yeah. I think that's one cool. That's one thing that's really great about the oversaturated scene is that you'll find somewhere that's welcoming. Yeah. If you go to the right spot. So thank you. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Cool. Is there anything we haven't talked about that you want people to know about you?
I'm trying to think. One thing that I think I haven't talked about yet is my tech background, which I know you did bring that up.
Yeah. Because that's what you won the Cold Tony for.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Now 2 years in a row, which not to tune. I guess tuning my own horn on the podcast, quit using that expression. But teching is such a blessing. I got taught by Garrett Buss here as well at Fallout. And that's something that I hear about different performers. It's funny hearing about, and I'm blanking on, you were interviewing someone who was a tech previously and is a really talented improviser, and I can't remember who it was. I listened to this podcast maybe a year or two ago. Oh. But there's someone that's still in this. I'll figure this out. Okay. But teching was such a integral and like just invaluable part of I think my comedy journey and just consuming comedy. Yeah. I started so right out of COVID was when I was working front of house here again because Fallout opened before Cold Town because the venue was still intact. Right. And so I started working front of house and I wasn't able to watch shows because they could only have one person working front of house. And so I was really getting fed up with just working front of house. Didn't love that. Literally you're just stuck there with so much idle time. Yeah. And so I wanted to start teching again. I wanted to start teching, period, just to get in the room and get in the green room with people. Mm-hmm. And I think that was a massive part of my journey. I can't encourage that enough for up and coming people in the scene or people who are wanting to get more reps. Just like the visual reps of watching a show and seeing different moves from like all these talented people in the scene, and also seeing shows that bomb and seeing the like demystification of like, oh, that like I don't think I could do it. No, but there's just so many times where I'm like, it's something in the air too. It's amazing watching a night where it's like, man, nothing could be worse than that show I just saw. And then the next show, coincidentally, I'm like, wow, the 8:30 was somehow worse than the show. And so I mean, I got to tech for like TJ and Dave, TJ and Pete, some of my real legends in the improv scene. Yeah. And I do think that has played so much into just like the different moves and like the growth of myself as a performer. And just can't thank like Fallout or Cold Town enough. Will Cleveland really took me under his wing, and I was able to be with him and Preston in the tech booth and just be like the third tech when they were first coming out of COVID. Yeah. And yeah, so
it sounds and seems so intimidating.
It is.
A lot of equipment. Keeping things straight, and I know we've been lucky at Cold Town. Waz has been our
nice,
tech a lot.
Love Waz.
She knows, or they know exactly when to do the lights out, and just having that keen sense.
Yeah,
you're part of the show, even though you're not part of the show.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It is so cool. The Cold Town booth specifically is way higher risk than Fallout. Because Fallout, you're in like a room, no one can see you. Cold Town, you're like a part of the show. Like they can see you. So when things are going wrong and you're sweating it out, everyone's watching that happen. And yeah, you're such a part of the show with the pool at the end, especially when they give you the creative freedom of actually being able to make those pools. Mm-hmm. And I think there's few better feelings than being kind of the unsung hero in the booth. Yeah. That if you get like a tactical, I had that after a bucket list show. Where I remember they walked in after like this awesome pool I had, and like you feel proud, but you're just celebrating by yourself. You're in the booth like nice, like pat yourself on the back, and there's like few better feelings in the high after when everyone's like a big laugh and everyone's clapping good into the show. And they walked in and everyone was just like fist bumping me, like literally the term was something like tactical pool. Wow. I was like, I remember this forever. But then it's also funny. Excuse me, but like when you miss a pool, you're also like, cool, no one noticed. No one knows that I did that. And everyone on stage is like, oh, what the hell? Why would you pull there? Or one time I pulled all night way too early. I wasn't familiar with the herald structure. And yeah, which I don't know why I was in the booth at that time. No one checked with me. They were just like, hey, 25 minutes. I was like, heard. And then on the second round of beats for this Herald, and it's all night, I pulled because I thought I had like a funny laugh, and they were right on the timing. And I remember when the lights come up, I just see Keelan's like daggers. He's just staring at me. And I was like, I think I did something wrong. And then he walked up to me after and like, hey, that was not where we pull. But it was cool, and it's such a good learning experience. And I genuinely think like it's like a pressure makes diamond situation, or like a baptized by fire, where the confidence that you get from pools and the confidence you then have on stage of like, okay, that's a good edit. It's just invaluable, the experience and wisdom that comes from teching. So I'm like out of the booth less now, but cannot recommend it enough. Okay. I just love it. Yeah.
I think you've brought to light, pun intended, that being a tech is a really great learning opportunity. Yeah, it might be a little intimidating at first, but yeah, you are watching a show and learning from that show. So people should do it, because I feel like there's always a shortage of techs.
Yeah, so, weirdly enough. And I'm
that intimidation factor. So we need to like pivot and spin this so that people are more encouraged to jump in.
Definitely. And it's kind of like the workhorse mindset. I remember I was in the booth at Cold Town, and it was after like a Friday show, and this person walks up to me and they're like, hey, who do I talk to about running a show here? And I was like, oh, well, you can email the website, but I would highly recommend like taking classes, doing something. And then this person is like, no, and I was like, also jump in the tech booth. Like I sent it to them. I was like, this is an awesome experience. You get to witness shows, and like literally you're plugged into where you're talking to the showrunners and people booking about different shows. And the person turns to me and they go, I'm not meant to be behind the booth. I'm meant to be on stage. And Yeah, exactly.
Gross.
Yeah, and like I was just immediately like, all right, I don't need to talk to you anymore, and I've never seen them at
Good.
any shows after
Good.
that. And I was like, that is so telling. Like if you're not
Yeah.
willing to put in the work and willing to be vulnerable and make those mistakes, and be like the behind the scenes person for a bit, I think that says a lot about a person as a performer and like what they're willing to, commit.
Yeah.
Oh
my goodness.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Lewis, I think if there's nothing else,
Is that my time?
are
Nice.
you ready for your closing question?
The final question? Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Lewis, one word to describe your future.
I'm eager. I'd say I'm eager and open.
course.
Can I have 2 one words?
Sure.
Nice.
All right. Amazing. I'm so glad we could do this.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is seriously a dream. Appreciate you so much. Comedy Wham. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, please do. Okay, well, that is a wrap on Comedy Wham presents Lewis Birdsong. Lewis, tell us where we can find you on social media and promote your projects and your shows.
So I'm on Instagram. I never really post on Instagram, and I'm so not good at that part. But please come to Fuck This Week at Fallout Theater Monday nights at 8:00. The Rose will be at Cold Town Theater on Saturday starting in January. Not sure what time that's at, but it is happening. And then look out for Lucid, Sid Goen and I's duo, coming up. And yeah, hopefully we'll be in the FPIA competition this year.
Nice.
That's a goal of mine. So
Cool. Well, good luck. It's a big thing.
yeah, way to go, by the way. Yeah.
Ooh, I spent a lot of time on that thing.
Well, that baby has become a monster.
Yes,
So.
it has. It has. All right. Well, we hope you've enjoyed learning about how Lewis got to be the comedic genius that you heard today, just as much as I have. This has been Comedy Wham presents Lewis Birdsong. I'm Valerie, and that's been funny. Thank you, Lewis.
Thanks, Valerie. Appreciate you.